want to start tonight by saying thank you to our brave military men and women. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for sacrificing life and limb for our security, giving your today so that we may have our tomorrow. But tomorrow is an important day for the military as they step in to fill the void left by striking ambulance workers. England expects, exclaimed Nelson famously before the Battle of Trafalgar, and England clearly still expects. Remember commandos doing COVID nasal swabs in car parks? Yes, we all remember those grim sights, don't we? The Yorkshire Regiment even commissioned a painting to mark that occasion. Hardly the charge of the Royal Scot Greys, was it, at Waterloo? Anyway, remember the military being drafted in to help build those Nightingale hospitals? Fat load of use they were. And now they're getting urgent paramedic training to help solve another medical crisis. Anyone who signs on that dotted line for the Army, for the Royal Navy or for the Royal Air Force agrees to, if necessary, both take life and put their own lives on the line if and when ordered to do so. That's their job. That's their duty. I don't think they should be expected to fill in, though, for public service workers who are on, in many cases, more money than them and have better living conditions. Tomorrow, elderly men and women will lie in a crumpled heap of agony at the bottom of the stairs. Pregnant women in the final stages of labour, a complicated labour. People suffering heart attacks. They will try to call an ambulance. They will need an ambulance. But it won't be the striking 999 call handlers who take their calls, and it won't be the paramedics who race to the scene. No, yet again, it will be down to our military heroes to step up and do their solemn duty. There is a lot of talk of public sympathy for striking medical professionals, and I get that, absolutely. I have sympathy. There is a genuine case for better pay for them, for better working conditions. But there are moral issues at play here. Firstly, people will die as a result of ambulance strikes. Secondly, there is a moral issue about those people called in to cover their backsides while they do the conga on a picket line, those military heroes. Those people who were sent on catastrophic adventures in Iraq and Afghanistan for tour after tour, 6 months off, 6 months on for some units. Our squaddies went out there, fought toe-to-toe with a determined enemy, saw their friends maimed and killed in the most horrific circumstances. And for certain frontline units, they had casualty rates not too dissimilar to that of the Second World War. I'll give you an example. A platoon of 30 men from C Company, 2 rifles, had more than half of its members killed or wounded on a single day in July 2009. Many of the veterans of those campaigns are still in the armed forces, and it will be those very people who tomorrow drive ambulances to the most dangerously ill people in society. They will be forced to drop their Christmas plans, abandon their families, abandon their kids, and pick up the slack for striking NHS workers. They will cover so other people can make a point about their pay and conditions. Now, I say, what about the conditions of our service personnel? All too often, they're forced to live in substandard housing. Service accommodation is in a dire state. Water coming through the ceilings, the heating not working for weeks at a time, hot water non-existent, and young children developing viral infections from mould. A private contractor named Pinnacle was awarded a £144 million contract reportedly in March to manage Britain's 49,000 service family homes. But Arctic equipment and sleeping bags are now reportedly being issued from kit stores to soldiers' families to cover for the failure of the MOD, or indeed Pinnacle, whose boss, Peregrine Lloyd, earns, apparently anyway, a tidy 320 grand a year and lives in a £2 million house, all right for some, isn't it, to provide adequate housing or timely repairs for those troops and their dependents. Pinnacle, of course, it's important to say, do say that they will do their best to sort out all of those issues very, very quickly. Yet people who come across the channel, by the way, many from countries that our braved armed forces men and women were sent to go and fight extremism, are put up in 4-star hotels. Disused military barracks will be used to house illegal immigrants, while homeless veterans shiver on the pavements outside. Our military men and women make the ultimate sacrifices for our freedoms, for our rights. But the fact is that tomorrow, men and women in those famous khaki military uniforms will be keeping the public alive, while other men and women, sometimes on better pay and with better living conditions, take the day off. I'm sympathetic to medical professionals who want better pay, but I don't think that they should hold desperately ill people and our armed forces to ransom to get what they want.